Hello Exiles, Red Lord here. Welcome to my build update number 1, or number 2, I should say, for the build that I'm currently playing, and that's the Tectonic Fissure, Volcanic Fissure, Slammy Aftershock Warrior. Lots of fire. And I must say, I am pleasantly surprised by the build, and especially the clearing satisfaction of the build. I just love it. There's nothing else like presetting your volcanic fissure and your forge hammer on the abyss crack and then just random slamming into the volcanic fissures and just killing all that spawns immediately with the fissures. So that feels amazing. I cannot recommend it enough for that. And even in terms of general clearing, the build has got a lot better. I've done my ascendancies, I've done my third and fourth ascendancy at the same time. So yeah, I don't have to run the trial again. But now with the ascendancies, I got a lot more tanky. It's much easier to heavy stun enemies. So that means basically anything that gets hit once, even by the bugged volcanic fissure, so the enemy actually gets hit only with one fissure. If it's a normal enemy, it usually is just heavy stunned right away. And with this massive AoE, I mean, just everything, literally everything you see is heavy stun if there's volcanic fissure near it. And then I just added on Sunder. Like, I was already using Sunder for single target, but I believe in my last video about this build, I was saying that I might actually ditch Sunder because I keep on forgetting to actually use it. But I got used to it. Now I use it quite regularly. And I'm actually using it for clearing, and not because I want to deal damage with the Sunder, although it does some damage too. I actually wanted it to proc volcanic fissures. And yes, Sunder just procs aftershocks on volcanic fissure like madman. Because what I believe is happening is when the Sunder travels, it has these sort of shockwaves or bursts. Let's say it like that. It got these bursts, and each burst is single separate explosion as it travels. So it's got like, I don't know, 10 bursts in the whole length of the Sunder. And that's what I think is happening, why it is proccing aftershocks on volcanic fissures so damn much. Because, yeah, but one important thing to say, this works only with aftershock Sunders. Because, I don't know, if there's some kind of bug going around, this definitely seems like a bug. That's not any hidden mechanic. I scoured the internet for that many times, but yeah, another bug, and I don't know if it's actually Sunder that is bugged or if it's just the volcanic fissure, but with the volcanic fissure, additional fissures bug, we already know about from the last video. So if you don't know, I would encourage you to check that video. Link is going to be in the description. I think it's actually a volcanic fissure's fault. So yeah, I got that going for me, but how does it work? Basically, if you place down volcanic fissures and you Sunder on top of them, the Sunder's gonna proc only one aftershock of the volcanic fissure. However, aftershock with Sunder is gonna be proccing multiple, and I mean multiple procs of volcanic fissure. If you're playing on an open layout map and the Sunder gets to travel a long way along the fissures, oh my god, you get like, I would say 7 or something aftershocks just by looking at it. You get like 7 aftershocks on one Sunder aftershocks. And yeah, by the way, aftershocks from other slam skills also proc aftershocks from your volcanic fissure. That's just how it's supposed to work. But unfortunately, it doesn't proc on the initial hit that much. It procs only once. But either way, with one volcanic fissure, you can technically play just volcanic fissure and clear with that, but I like the 1-2 step combo because it makes it feel a lot better. And yeah, so Uh, since I had lots of, and I mean lots of attack speed links for my Sunder anyways, I decided that I'm just gonna be doing this one-two combo, and Sunder is a lot faster than Rolling Slam, because Rolling Slam has that, I believe, 1.5. They've changed it from, yeah, it has 1.5 seconds to total attack time. Last league it used to be 1 second total attack time. That's basically inherent attack time that you cannot bypass. The attack is always going to have that attack time, and no matter what attack speed you have, you cannot bypass that 1.5 seconds attack time. Last league it was 1 second, and during the launch I believe it was 2.5 seconds, something ridiculous like that. But either way, Rolling Slam felt a bit too sluggish for the clear, although I'm just keep using it on rares, of course, and uniques. So those I'm still sundering only and only for the bonus of Sundered Armor. But yeah, one-step combo for clearing, Volcanic Fissure and one Sunder does the trick. And the good thing about Sunder is it has higher attack speed with the link I'm using, and the rest can be pure utility, like Jagged Ground, for example. And also, it is more ranged, so you get to play against those Abyss monsters with even higher, like, upside of the build against them, because they're gonna start spawning and your massive AoE is just gonna reach them with Volcanic Fissure. And then you can just Sunder on top of the Volcanic Fissure from far away, and you're completely out of danger. You're out of them freaking degen zones of some of the absolutely... don't get me started on that. Some of those monsters, ridiculous. Even though it's a lot better since the last patch because they've nerfed them. But there's one particular degen that just seems to completely disable your recovery and is degenning you at the same time. And I don't know how is that even legal. That should be on some uber boss fight, and it should be clearly visible that the boss is doing that spell that applies degen that disables your recovery, like Maven in PoE1, not just on some random Abyss Rare monster. That's a bit ridiculous to me, but whatever. All of that you can bypass by just Sundering on top of your fissures, and you're out of the danger, and your Sunders are gonna proc ton of aftershocks. So yeah, I think that was all I wanted to say. Let's now jump into the upgrades. Alright, so currently I'm level 91, and yeah, I think I'm gonna get this build to like 93, 94-ish, we shall see. But in terms of gear, there's really not much change. Like, gear is still the same basically, except the weapon that I crafted. And how to craft the weapon like that, link is gonna be in the description. I crafted it on stream, so you will be seeing me crafting exactly this weapon that I have. And I would, if you're about to craft something like that, I would recommend watching that video, because there's one point where I thought the weapon actually bricked, but I managed to save it, and the save is guaranteed really easy. It's just a matter of a couple tens of exalted orbs. It's just a bit annoying thing that can happen from time to time, but is most likely not gonna happen to you, but just in case it happens. So yeah, that's the weapon right now. Currently, if you're wondering, it's 468 physical DPS with 17 damage as extra fire, 4 attack levels, and of course those sweet aftershocks. And those aftershocks are what I was aiming for rather than attack speed, because the attack speed that I currently have, it already feels good to do the combo. In combat it's of course a lot more, and mainly because I'm gonna increase the chance for aftershocks for all my skills across. So that meant it allowed me to drop aftershock support sorry, to drop aftershock support from my Volcanic Fissure, and I got Rage, which is humongous upside. Like every point of rage is 1% more damage. And with this, you get rage instantly on bosses, on whatever. So yeah, I got rage. And I dropped aftershocks, and I'm still on 80% chance to aftershock on my Volcanic Fissure, which is pretty good, if you ask me. But yeah, other than that, it gave aftershock chance to all of my other skills, so I was able to reach 100%, I believe. Where is it here? 95% on Rolling Slam. I'm using aftershock support, by the way. And on some of the other skills, like Sunder, I believe, I have 100%. Where is it? I'm blind. Aftershock chance 95. Yeah, what am I thinking? It doesn't have any inherent more aftershock. So yeah, I'm almost at 100% aftershock chance. And it feels damn good. It feels damn good, not gonna lie. Basically, our every attack is gonna do aftershock. And yeah, so I'll quickly show you the skill tree. Let's start with that. Since I'm level 91, I made a bunch of changes. And now I'm actually happy with the skill tree, utilizing both of my weapon sets. And that's what I'm gonna be talking about in terms of skill tree, mainly the weapon sets and the more changes that I did. So, mainly the weapon sets. Weapon set 1 is my one-hander setup and Sacred Flame. That weapon set's supposed to be clearing with and applying heavy stun, and actually it does quite a bunch of single target too. And other weapon set is just one thing and one thing only. My weapon set 2 is Big Bonker. Yes, still this one. I need to recraft my Big Bonker. And it's gonna be quite easy because I can apply the same process I applied to this mace. I can apply it to two-hander, and I don't care about attack speed at all here. So yeah, weapon set 2. It is mainly, or it serves one purpose. Big bonks, Hammer of the Gods. That's it. And some aftershock, right? But nothing else really. So the green lines here are the weapon set 2. I should switch to it so you can see it more clearly. And it's taking just all of the increased damage nodes. These nodes like physical as extra against heavy stun. And yeah, after I get weapon with higher base attack speed, because my weapon has under 1 second attack speed, that's terrible. I think I'll be in the comfy zone where I actually hit with the Hammer of the Gods before the boss is out of the heavy stun. So yeah, taking basically all of the increased damage. Empowered attacks, by the way, empowered attacks attacks supported by Fist of War count as being empowered. Even like it says ancestrally boosted. It says it right here, ancestrally boosted attack count as being empowered. So the attack is empowered, and these are just 16% damage increased nodes for my Hammer of the Gods. And then last points here, just for some damage against burning and some penetration, because on weapon set 2 with our Hammer of the Gods, we're not using fire penetration support. So because I wanted to scale supports that would scale just more damage multipliers like Rage Forge, Hourglass, Close Combat, the Aftershocks of course, and Fist of War 3. These are working both for fire and as well as physical. And as you can see, we're doing quite a bunch of fire, but we're gonna be doing much more fire damage once we get actual weapon going on. And of course, we're gonna be switching from all of these fire penetration nodes, and most likely these 2 fire nodes also. We're gonna be switching to these 3 and something else, because I'm planning on replacing some of the supports with an actual Rakiata's Dance. If I manage to do that, I'm gonna be having like roughly around 50-50 damage, 50-50 split between physical and fire damage. So at that point, I think Rakiata's Dance might be worth it to play with. And yeah, until then, this is the setup. And now for the weapon swap 1. couple of changes again, still taking the one-handed nodes and all of that. I took this small node for both weapon sets and this one just for weapon set 1 because, yeah, the one-step combo, one-step process I'm currently doing is actually, while mapping, I always wait until my second slam, or I slam and my second slam is always ancestrally boosted thanks to my ascendancy, right? So every second slam you cast yourself, you use yourself, is ancestrally boosted. And that means now, as you can see, all of my slams, Sunner is not supported by Fist of War, so now I can clearly see that it is ancestrally boosted. And that means I'm now going to use Volcanic Fissure. It's gonna consume the ancestrally boosted, and this, why is it right now blue? It's because Fist of War support. But that Fist of War support doesn't have much of a use right now for clearing, because, as I said, what I'm doing, I'm using Volcanic Fissure on second slam and then Sundering, and now I have immediately Volcanic Fissure again, and I can just do this. 1, 2, dodge roll, 1, 2, dodge roll, 1, 2, dodge roll. You get it. You get the point, right? And this, especially in linear or some kind of open field layout maps, this is especially potent and important. As well as I really want that Volcanic Fissure to be ancestrally boosted, because I got Anointed Thirst of Kitava. Life Leech from empowered attacks is instant, and this is super powerful, because every single fissure that I proc, the Aftershocks, is going to be instant leech, because that is also empowered by the first one, right? So yeah, really nice combination here. And yeah, since I switched on Rolling Slam to Armor Break 3, I could drop these, and now I'm more reliably armor breaking on bosses, and also I more reliably have the uptime of Scavenged Plating. So yeah, that feels damn good on bosses. And I actually removed the duration for armor break, so I can, that's the whole point why I did it. I removed this duration for armor break just so I can have better Scavenged Plating uptime even on bosses, because it's a big deal. Currently I have 29,000 armor, and in mapping it's like roughly around 31k, so something like that. And yeah, it is quite a difference, not gonna lie, it is quite a difference. And yeah, so I could take these heavy stun build up and break armor on a heavy stunning an enemy on just weapon set 1, just because this is gonna help us stun with the Volcanic Fissure, and you're gonna be breaking 50% armor on heavy stunning an enemy. As I said, this build is heavy stunning a lot, even with just Volcanic Fissure, and that means those enemies are gonna be armor broken as they are heavy stun, and you break 3 times armor against normal enemies and 2 times armor against magic. That means that after you heavy stun in weapon set 1, magic packs and normal packs are gonna be armor broken completely. And yeah, other monsters, unique and rares, are gonna have 50% broken armor, but for those it doesn't matter, because on those we use our Rolling Slam anyway. That's gonna break the rest of the armor. And usually on bosses, 2 hits of Rolling Slam, the first and the second one, and maybe 1 Aftershock after that, and they're fully armor broken. So that's completely fine. Then yeah, taking the attack speed nodes, and other than that, it's not super special really. One-handed with attack speed, of course, and here more attack speed and reduced slowing potency of debuffs. Helps a bit, lowers chilled ground by like 4%, so at least something. And yeah, other than that, for the weapon set 1, there's not that much going on. I took these 4 points for area damage and stun build up, as well as some area of effect, and it's not reflected in my hideout just as well as it is in some of the maps, but the AoE on this, this gets massive, And the best maps you can see it on is something like Steppe or what is it, the Act 2 first zone where there's the hyena boss. That map has super open layout, and on those maps you really see the AoE shine, and that's even with the 30% less area of effect from Chaos Madness. And just the baseline area scaling on Volcanic Fissure is superbly nice. So yeah, that feels really good. Otherwise, I could drop the break armor nodes, and because now I'm breaking on single target with just the rolling slam. And yeah, that's pretty much in terms of changes. Jewels, this is just whatever that I got laying around. This one I actually bought. That's a Megalomaniac with Perfect Opportunity. I wanted Perfect Opportunity just mainly for my Hammer of the Gods, because I'm planning on using Sacred Hammer and Sacred Mace, sorry, and Sacred Mace has a high variety of like rolling. It can low roll a lot and it can high roll a lot. So that's why I think lucky damage is gonna help in that term a lot. Just in case you don't know what lucky damage is, basically, let's say it rolls your damage twice. It checks for your damage twice, and it's gonna pick the higher outcome. So now what you get is you've got a weapon that has damage, or you got a damage that has roll of 1000 to 2000, and basically what's it gonna do is it's gonna calculate like it's 2 hits, and it's gonna pick the higher one. So that means if on the first hit you hit, I don't know, 1100, and on the other hit you hit 1099, 999, it's gonna pick the higher outcome. That 1999 to be exact. And yeah, also forgot to mention that this is for the weapon swap too, for the Hammer of the Gods. And yeah, that's pretty much the skill tree. Again, POB or the max rolling is gonna be in the description. My next level is gonna be this for the maim and regen, just quality of life. I like this node a lot. And then we shall see where we gonna go. I need to replace my jewels still. And in terms of links, I'm gonna quickly hover over them. I just for fun linked my Mace Strike with Leech, Behead, Execute, and Culling Strike. It doesn't really matter. It is up to you. I'm not using it. I'm just keeping it there. Sometimes if I remember that I can Culling Strike a rare enemy, I can steal its modifier with Behead. Yeah, then the Purity of Fire with Cannibalism 2, Vitality 1, Precision 2. And I explained the tech about Purity of Fire in the last video, so I would recommend you to check that. Then Volcanic Fissure has links changed with Fist of War 2, Elemental Armament 2, Rage 3, very important, Fire Penetration 2, and Chaos Madness. Rolling Slam is a little bit changed too. And by the way, I've got level 19 gems right now. It can get a lot better, to like 20, 21. Fist of War 2, Aftershock 2, Armor Break 3, Fire Penetration 2, and Close Combat 2. I don't know, I might be switching. I'm not sold on the Fire Penetration because I'm not doing that much fire damage, so I'm not completely sold on it. I might just go for more physical or something. Yeah, then Forge Hammer, linked with Fist of War 3, Fire Attunement, Aftershock 2, Rage Forged, and I might actually switch the Aftershock from Forge Hammer. Fire Penetration 2. Now for the other hammer, Hammer of the Gods, our big bonker. It's Fist of War 3, Aftershock 2, Raged Forge 2, Hourglass, and Close Combat. And I quite like this setup. If I remove something and switch to Rakiata's Dance, I don't know what's it gonna be. It's gonna be a hard choice. But most likely the Hourglass or Close Combat. Yeah, then Sunder, linked with Prolonged Duration, so we can increase the duration of the Sundered armor. As you can see right here, 8.83, 6.54, right? Then Aftershock, Jagged Ground, just for quality of life. If something survives the Sunder aftershock, it's gonna get slowed by, I believe, 20% from Jagged Ground. Yes, 20%. And this is optional. You can do anything else, basically. But it is nice for some of those more tanky Abyss rares that are super speedy, especially if you got map modifiers for attack, cast speed, and movement speed. Then Rapid Attacks 3 and Rigwald's Ferocity. Seismic Cry with Tireless, Raging Cry, and Magnified Area. Herald of Ash with Cannibalism, Fire Mastery, Magnified Area, Deadly Herald. Overwhelming Presence with Uthred's Exodus. Actually, I added this just to add 3 levels to the Overwhelming Presence, which gives us better ailment threshold, or gives monsters worse, better ailment threshold and better... Sorry. Gives monsters worse stun threshold and ailment threshold. As you can see, it's a couple % difference, but it is a boost nonetheless. It's 1 chaos, so why not? One exalted orb, sorry. Scavenged Plating with Prolonged Duration, Vitality 2, and Physical Mastery. And lastly, War Banner linked with Prolonged Duration, Magnified Area, Expanse, Cooldown Recovery, and the Resource Passion. And you can pretty much just spam your War Banner. On bosses, you get it immediately back, so if you don't forget to press it, it is basically permanent uptime on 25% more damage, 50% increased accuracy, and 25% increased attack speed on bosses. And yeah, that's it. I don't think I've covered the charms, so still the same anti-bleed unique charm, and I think I've changed from Poison Charm or something. I used to use Shock Charm, I'm not sure at the moment, to this anti-slow charm, and it helps a lot. And by the way, I didn't buy it, I didn't even check the price. It might be actually expensive since it's a slow charm, yeah, like 30x something. Yeah, with the increased charges and everything here, like the increased duration, this is gonna help big time against just chills, slows, and all of that. And I believe, from what I remember from my monk, I think this actually procs even on temporal chains and chill, so that's gonna help big time. And still using our anti-ignite charm. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the build. If you wonder how to craft the mace, I'm gonna say it again, link is gonna be in the description of the video, how to change the mace. You can see me do it live, or you can see me as I was doing it live. And yeah, other than that, plans for the character, just make a couple more upgrades, couple more levels, as I said, maybe like 93, get 2 other better jewels, ideally get Megalomaniac with 2 of the nodes, like that would be acceptable, but I've got Megalomaniac in search for, like, 1 of 3 nodes has to be there, and there's like other 20 nodes, and those just don't exist. There's one on trade for 50 divines, and it's definitely not worth it that. So I gotta do the jewels. And yeah, maybe even I'm gonna make full detailed first build guide I ever did. Not just in PoE2, but in PoE1 also. This is maybe I'm gonna make, just maybe I'm gonna make full build guide. That's how much I like the character. It is so fun. I believe it is quite original. I haven't seen anyone basically do the Sacred Flame shenanigans on one-handed maces and all of that. Yeah, so I like it. I like it a lot. I think the playstyle's snappy, good. Single target, not bad. Tankiness, I would say really not bad, and all of that. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you very much for watching, Exiles, and see you in the next one.